Hi everyone, welcome back for another video here on my YouTube channel. This is Cassie. Today we're going to be playing with some Simon Hurley Create products. I am showing you this heart foam, but we will not be using it. I ended up changing my mind, but this stuff is so cool and I do have a video using it. I'll have it linked down below. We are going to be using the Bold Bouquet stamp set because I just love it. It's beautiful. We have some Simon Hurley Create Stark White cardstock, and then we have some various ink colors here. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with the very solid image. I love this stamp set because not only do you have a very solid image, it's like the negative of the stamp, you also have the positive of the stamp. So you've got both versions of it. And what I'm doing is I'm putting my piece of cardstock into my Minty, and I'm going to continue to push that down in that lower right-hand corner. To start, because I've never used this stamp before, I did take my microfiber cloth over the top of that stamp just to kind of help the stamp be a little bit more conditioned so it'll accept the ink a little bit better. And then I grabbed my Minty Fresh ink and I'm going to stamp that down first. What you'll notice is that I took the ink pad right to the stamp, and I'm going to do it again. And then I take my microfiber cloth and I soften the edge. You've seen me do this before if you've been here at all. And then I'm going to stamp that down. Now the way I can do that is because I continually keep pushing that cardstock very deep into the right hand corner, and I'm constantly checking to make sure that it is there. This stamp will work fine to do stamping over and over and over again. You'll see that I'm able to do it and I don't have any messing around. So it works really well. That next color that I grabbed was Midnight Snack. And this didn't stamp very well that first time. You'll see I also have like some rub marks there, and I don't like that. So we're going to come in really heavy-handed, make sure we get that good and inked up, and then again bring in that microfiber cloth to soften both of those edges. Now this is important because otherwise you're going to have a very stark line. And maybe that's what you're going for, but that was not at all what I was going for. So I'm stamping that down, and I like that a lot better. It kind of looks weathered, which is cool, so I decided to stick with just the two stampings. And then this final color I'm pulling in is some Crown Me. So it's that beautiful like royal purple. And stamp it or ink it up, take that microfiber cloth, soften the edge, and stamp it down. And you'll notice that I didn't get a very good impression that time, so once again we'll grab that Crown Me, and we're going to go up a little bit further on the ink pad so that it will kind of overlap that blue just a little bit. And then once again stamp it down, making sure that it is far down into that lower right hand corner. And then we have a very well stamped background. I love this. It's beautiful. And I think that color combo, while different, is super fun. So now we're going to take the other image, the other background, and we're going to grab three other colors. So that first color I'm going to go right in the middle, and that one's going to be some Slippery When Wet. I think this might be one of my absolute all-time favorite colors that Simon Hurley Create has in his ink line. I have to re-ink this one all the time because I use it all the time. It's one of my favorites. Then I'm bringing in Love Struck. That was one of the newer colors. I'm going to soften those edges again, and I kind of like that these are overlapping because they will mix and make new colors, which is really pretty cool. And then that bottom color is Viper. That was another new one, and we'll just stamp that down. And I only have to stamp these once, I've noticed, so that worked out really well. Check that background out. All right, so now we've got our two backgrounds, and I have to decide how I want my sentiments. You could do it portrait or landscape. It's going to work great either way. And then I did go into my stash and grabbed out some cardstock colors that I thought would match pretty well. And I am going to cut off all that white. Originally, I thought I would keep that for around that, and you absolutely could, but I'm gonna cut this down, and I'm gonna end up backing this with some black. And it really makes these pop, I think. The white is good, but the black really makes it pop. So I'll just bring those in, and I'm gonna cut this just to be slightly bigger than my cut backgrounds. And to be honest with you, I don't remember how big those backgrounds were. I kind of measured them, and I think they were a little bit different. And then I just cut my black paper to be just a tiny bit bigger. Now we got to stamp our sentiments, so I brought out my very favorite cardstock for that, which is the Pearblossom Press Sentiment Stock. I brought in a powder tool. That one's from Tailored Expressions. And then I'm stamping down my sentiment using some juicy embossing ink. And then I'm going to cover this with some detail white embossing powder. And then we'll heat set that until that is smooth and melted. And that's really going to pop on those backgrounds for sure. So now that those are done, we'll clean up our mess. I'll even wipe away the excess residue from the powder tool. And then we can put this into our guillotine trimmer and trim down our sentiments a little bit so that those can go on the front of our cards. I got to get my card bases prepared. So these were cut down to 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I'm scoring both of them at 4.25 inches. That will make them top folding A2 size cards. I brought in another stamp from this stamp set, and that says Sending Hugs and Prayers. And then I'm going to take my tape runner, and we're just going to tape down our panel to our black piece, and you'll see that nice black border that goes right around there. And then same thing for the other one. And I grabbed the tape runner because it happened to be there. And actually this one's a pretty strong one, so I like it. Usually I will use liquid glue. And then I'm going to just use that tape runner one more time. And we will attach down our black panels to our card bases. And then you've got that border of the cardstock. For our sentiments, I've decided I want those popped up since we don't have a lot of dimension here. I mean, you could use the tape runner or some glue or whatever, but I'm going to pop these up using some 3D foam squares. I thought that would be a nice touch, and that way it'll give it a little bit of dimension. And you could, of course, go in and embellish in other ways, whether that be sequins or enamel dots or just any other embellishment you might have. But I decided to leave these as is. Just pop those down in the middle. And that's going to finish off our cards for today. So think about the color combos that you could come up with a big background stamp like this. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.